Welcome to Inside the Champion's Mind, a show dedicated to helping you overcome mediocrity in the pursuit of being world-class in life, love, and legacy. We're your hosts, Laurence.
And Karen Tam.
Was that slow enough for you?
Do you know what? I've been making fun of you because I feel like when you're speaking, it's like blah, 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 blah. And I think it's because I know you listen to a lot of podcasts and you're
Twice speed, yeah.
so time pressed, you listen to them twice speed. And I think now you're starting to speak in 2 times speed.
I do. And the faster I speak, the more intelligent I sound, and also too that this is who I am, and you have to listen faster. That's just joking.
Speed up your ears.
Karen's making me more conscious about conscious about my speed, and I will try to endeavor to slow it down. But hey,
but not too slow, because then that's painful.
Yeah, absolutely painful. I'm so that was so uncomfortable.
I can see you. You're like, oh, it's not good. It doesn't make you happy.
No, it does not make me happy. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to go there. It doesn't make me happy. So this is the way I speak, and this is what's going to make me happy, which is the topic of our podcast today.
It is.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about happiness.
Yes.
I think happiness is it's an interesting thing because I think it's really important to know that in order to be happy, you have to kind of experience sadness. Which is, kind of
that
profound.
Is true.
It's profound, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's without sadness, you don't actually know what happiness is. And I think that's the dichotomy of just understanding. And I see that in our kids, Not that we see that in the kids that we want them to be happy all the time. But also, too, that unfortunately, they're going to have to go through some hurt in their life. I mean, it happens, through breakups or disappointments or, sadness in their life. And I think that having the contrast in our life, that's how we discovered happiness. But what we're going to talk about today is about really finding how to be happy, if that's even possible.
Is it possible?
I don't know. Is it possible? So where do you want to go from here?
It is. I was just thinking, because I've really enjoyed doing these podcasts.
I can tell. You can see it on YouTube. If you're listening to this, you can probably feel her energy around this. But
no, I'm loving it because you've been doing podcasts for a while.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And I'd see you close your door and lock yourself off, and then you'd come out and you're like, so many things to do, and I'd be like, drop the podcasts. Like, why are you doing the podcasts? Like, really? Like, you're in your little room, talking into a microphone,
hanging out with the boys, with Damien and Brett. I remember these conversations from 4 or 5 years ago.
Who do you love more?
Yeah, it's
me or them?
Why? Just quit the podcast. You're just wasting time.
That's true. I did say it, but I get it.
That.
But I get it now.
You get it?
I do because it's fun. Might not be fun for everybody.
No, it's not. Just because you got a voice, it doesn't mean you should be in podcasts.
Just because you like to talk doesn't mean you have anything to say.
Yeah.
No, but I'm enjoying it, and I was thinking about maybe one of the reasons why I'm enjoying it. Not only do I get to spend time with you, I'll throw that in for some brownie points. Yeah. But it keeps you in the moment, because I realized I'm busy, and I know a lot of people are busy, and you're running around doing 10,000 things. Mm-hmm. Why are you looking at my hair?
I'm not.
Oh, I felt like you were. That made me unhappy. But I'll get back to what I was saying.
I'll look at the screen.
But I'm running around doing so many things, and it got me thinking, because I was listening to some of our other podcasters who were on the Wellness Couch and thinking about what they were saying, and I realized that we are very left brain dominated a lot of the time. So the left brain is the thinking brain, the organizing, doing all those things. The right brain's kind of a bit more creative, imagination, intuition, things like that. And I realized when we're doing the podcasts, when I'm living in the moment, when I'm in that, then I'm very much right-brained. I'm being a bit more creative. I'm enjoying life instead of, I've got to do this, do that, and rushing through life, not enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And so really making ourselves present makes a big difference to being happy.
Oh, absolutely. I think if you go back to the early days of the Wellness Guys, when I started doing it, I was very, very left brain, right? Because I needed to be very clear on what we're going to talk about that day, what our questions are going to be. And Brett and Damien used to laugh at me because they had that ability in the beginning. They can riff it. Yeah. And I couldn't. I struggled a lot, and in that probably at least 6 months to maybe a year. You can probably tell I haven't listened to any of the podcasts ever, but if you go back, you can probably tell the energy that I had, and it was very
more serious.
It was very serious.
You?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, me serious, yes. But it was very hard because it was very, very left brain, and because I needed structure and I needed to know how to say, because I didn't want to look bad, right? Yeah. But as I'm doing this for 5 years, and I've always talked to my clients about this, is that it's about practice, right? It's about the more you do things, the more you get an opportunity to really able to stretch and put yourself in situations where you have no control of like what you're gonna say next. And so what I started doing, like when I'm speaking on stage, is that I had minimal notes, and so which means that I didn't have like I knew exactly what I was gonna say next, so I had to riff a little bit. I had to force myself in front of people, or even in front of these podcasts. We didn't know what we're going to talk about today, right? In the sense that we don't actually know what we're going to say in the next 30 minutes.
And we don't know where we're going with it either. This is why we're all over the place, really. But that's life. That's what conversations you have with people are so interesting. It's the places it takes you.
Exactly. And it's about forcing that creativity part, which is the right brain part that I had to really exercise. It's almost like I felt like my left brain was like huge and my right brain was very small, you know? And I had to, over the last few years, to stretch that right brain muscle to work at it. And sure, it wasn't great, and it's still not great. It's just really just building that creativity. And I'm becoming,
a painter.
Well, I did paint the other day, last month.
That's true.
But I'm stretching that creativity within myself. I'm not comparing to anybody else.
But we're not talking about doing art class. Like, for some people, it might be art classes, but there are other ways to get more right brain, to be a bit more in the moment and present.
Well, this is art. Like, to me, this is art, right?
Art.
It's true. Like right now, this is art for me. Like, because to be on front of a camera, to be able to be able to record a podcast, and with you, not knowing what you're thinking. And
you never know. You never know what's coming.
And sometimes it's bad. I get myself in trouble. But it's knowing that having that creativity and doing something with someone like yourself right here, doing this podcast, that is creativity, and that does make me happy. And I've always enjoyed Inside Champions Mind, because it's a podcast where I just get to talk about what's going on in my life and just going through it without having some sort of structure or an agenda to it, other than having a topic for a theme for that particular podcast.
But for some people, it could be surfing, it could be exercising, it could be grocery shopping, if that's your thing, or cooking a nice meal for your partner. For me, I like decorating.
Yeah, it is.
And
so,
every time you travel.
Yep. Every time I travel, I know my credit card expenses is going.
It's because you're not. It's because you're not home, and I have my laptop and Google, and I start looking, and I think, ooh, I've got time to look at that room I wanted to do.
Every time I come back, there seems to be a new fresh paint somewhere in the house, or something has changed in the house. There's a new furniture. I'm like, oh, did you notice? Or
we've had
sometimes she tries to hide something that's being goes. Hopefully that I didn't notice that.
I was going to paint this wall behind us. I'm waiting for when you travel again next time. That'll be a different color. That makes me happy.
Yeah, she does.
Happy life, happy wife. Yeah, is that the saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Well, yesterday was a perfect example when I came upstairs for lunch, and
I was in the zone.
She was in the zone, and when a lady's in the zone, you want to leave her in the zone and flow. But that is, to me, is the perfect state of flow, because you're in the zone. So it's just putting in context.
You're leaving our listeners hanging as to what I was doing that was in the zone.
Yeah, well, you're in the zone. You were basically decorating or rearranging the kids' room, and putting a brand new desk that you bought while I was away last week
with your credit card.
With my credit card. And this desk was arriving, and as if I knew, because my desk is arriving today. I'm supposed to be asking what desk, right? And so she bought this new desk because she wants to put her sewing machine on there.
Well, I love sewing. I do love sewing. I used to sew a lot of dresses for Kaya. I just love that. It makes me happy. It's getting into the creative thing. But since we've moved here, I don't have a sewing room, and so I haven't sewn for almost 2 years now. Like, that sewing machine is in the cupboard, not getting used. Yeah. And Kaya's getting really interested in sewing now as well. Yes. She likes doing crafts and things. And I thought, we need to get it out because we're not going to use it. If we see it and it's easy to access, we'll use it. So I bought a desk. And I rearranged. Christian wasn't too happy because I've told him some of his toys have to move for Mommy's sewing machine. But I got the desk set up, and I've made it all pretty, and it's creative, and I've got all sorts of really cool tactile fabrics, and I've got pipe cleaners and jewels, and everything's in these pretty jars, which Laurence is so happy about. But you know what? It's creating an environment that inspires you, that makes you want to do something. Like, you like being in the champion's lair.
Exactly. So this is what we talked about in a previous podcast about relationships, right? And that we have certain values, and there's certain values that are different. And one of the values that you love is decorating. And I knew she was in flow. It's like, okay, I'll just put on my headphones and I will.
I can't even talk to you right now. I'm busy.
Yeah, and she goes, you know, I'm the flow. I'm like, yeah, I know you're in the flow. I'm not going to need to disrupt that. And and the same thing here. Like for me, it's, you know, I do surround myself with some of these things. It's really for me. I had no intention of filming any of this stuff with behind the scenes, and I know it's not the best looking set. However,
I will be painting.
Yeah. However, it is something that inspires me every single day. If I'm going to be here every day, walking in here, is that I want to be surrounded by greatness, and it just so happens that I admire people who are great in sports. Not necessarily for you.
I'm looking around this room, and I'm not seeing a picture of me.
Yeah, you
anywhere. Am I even
here,
in
so,
here?
Yep,
yeah,
you are here somewhere.
I was here once. I think I've gathered dust and been put in a cupboard.
No, but
happiness.
It is about happiness, and it's about finding that happiness is what makes you tick. And like for me, although it's hard for me to travel, being away from family, but it is something that I am passionate. That makes me happy to get to discover and meet people from around the world. And what makes me happy more so is that I get to do it in the thing that I love to doing, which is speaking. I love speaking and teaching, and that's fulfills me. If I could do that all day long, every single day, I just find so much joy, and this is what this is to me.
Is it just that, or is it also the new experiences, getting to eat food you haven't eaten before, and this, that?
It's a mixture. The whole experiential thing. It's meeting people. Like I love teaching, speaking. That's one thing that I'm very passionate about. Also meeting different people from different backgrounds as well, like from different places and different experiences in the sense of like different. I know we were being in London or Ireland or being in Canada or in the States and being in Australia. Like all those places seem to me, it's like I feel like I don't know, DeMartini says this, that the world is my home and each country is like a different house in the room. It's a different room in the house.
In that house.
And that's how I sort of like I feel, and I get that juice from traveling and discovering all these different places. Yes, it allows me to eat.
But not everybody gets to travel. So like some people have 9-to-5 jobs. Yep. They're stuck in the same town in the same place. And possibly in a rut. So they're listening to you going, that's great, it's cool, you get to travel a lot. Yeah. I don't. How do I do that happiness as well?
I think it's about, the whole reason why we're pointing out the things that makes us happy, what you decorating that makes you happy, for me the travel and speaking makes me happy. It's about finding things that you got to first know.
And they say, how do you know? Maybe you don't know.
Well, maybe you don't know, but if you know, it's about how do you lean more into it. I'm not suggesting you quit your job and give up everything. I think that's the worst mistake you can do. I think it's important to dabble into and test it and make time for it. Exactly. Yeah. Like if some people love being outdoors, right? I'm sure, some people just love, going camping and being in wilderness, and if that's important, then go do that. Like make sure you, put that part in your life. For example, my friend Davina, who I met in England, she's from New Zealand, and she's been traveling around the world with her partner, with her fiance now. She just got engaged. Congratulations, Stu and Davina. Like you guys, they travel the world, but they were in England, and one of the things that she said on the weekend, she had to go to her mom's because she lives in the country. And I just said to her, I go, it must be because you missed, she said she had to get out of the concrete jungle, which is in London, which she's been there for a few months now. And I can imagine London's a beautiful place to go visit. But living there though, when you're from New Zealand and you're living around green grass and the weather,
if that's what you love, if that's what you love and you connect to,
and all of a sudden like London becomes more like a great place to visit, but being there for too long, it becomes like it's
for her.
She couldn't drive, she couldn't find that meaning. And it's the same. So that's what I mean. If you're into wilderness or you need that, then make sure you lean into it and actually go out and discover the wilderness. And
it's funny though, because sometimes we say, I just don't have enough time. I would love to go dancing. I would love to go see a funny movie. I'd love to go swimming or just walk on the beach. I don't have the time for it. And I really challenge you, if that's what you're thinking or you're feeling, is to even just carve out 5 minutes. Because surely you've got 5 minutes just to listen to something or to go walk, because the difference it can make in your mindset, just to perk you up, to make you happier, that you're then in a better mood. It makes you feel better. You're nicer to other people. You're nicer to your own children. And to your
wear that tiara we talked about.
Yeah, take your tiara time. You know what's funny though? The other day I was making hot chocolates for the kids, and I love my hot chocolates really hot. I drink them like lava, and the kids obviously can't drink lava, so I have to make it cooler for them. So by the time I've got all the temperatures done and I've melted my chocolate, they've finished their hot chocolate just as Mommy's just starting to get the first sip of this lovely nectar. And they're like, okay, Mommy, time to do stuff. And Mommy's like, but I've just slaved on your hot chocolate. It's like, give me 5 minutes just to sit down so I can enjoy my hot chocolate. And you know what Kaya said? You don't have your tiara on. And I said, that is so true. I don't have my tiara on.
Yeah.
But Mommy's having her hot chocolate.
Well, and you love that hot chocolate so much. Let's put back into happiness, right? Because you love your hot chocolate. It actually literally takes you like probably 20 minutes maybe to make this hot chocolate.
No, I've got my Thermomix.
But it still takes time. It's not like it's just like...
I'm doing a plug for my Thermomix because I love my Thermomix.
But it's not just like a simple, boil some water.
No,
it does take time.
For both of us, we like good quality ingredients, and we like love being put into our food. And I think you totally taste the difference between that as well. So if we are going to have a hot chocolate, I'm going to do it with the best ingredients that I have.
Yep.
And then I like putting them in pretty cups or adding little embellishments. But I like doing that because it makes me happy. It makes it special for the kids, and they enjoy that as well. And it creates that whole experience for us. Yeah. I know I'm going to stop because I'm going to lose my train of thought. Don't stop me. I'm on a roll. But I'm just thinking, like, when we do holidays, like Christmas or Halloween, like I go all out. Well, there's probably more people who go out than me, further out than me. But it's... I decorate. I decorate the inside of the house. I decorate the table. I have ornaments. I've got special place settings and things. And I remember one year it was Christmas time and I was trying to get the tablecloth on and the tablecloth was really wrinkly. And my mom goes, stick it on. And I was like, what? Stick it on? Excuse me? No, because it makes me happy to create these experiences for the kids. And I think, how often, though, do we do things for other people that we will go to all this extra work and effort to make something nice for them, and then when it comes to us, well, just whatever, just chuck it on the table, good enough. Yeah. I'm just as important as these other people, and I want my children to feel that. I want them to feel that love, that Mommy's gone to the extra effort on this special day.
Even though they never appreciate it, or
they
never fully appreciate it.
They do appreciate it. I've started to notice.
But no, over time though, they have.
They will. That it's like, I know Christian's saying, when's our next special event? Because they look forward, because it creates a momentum in the house. Yeah. And they like the changes, the decorating that they see in that, and brings us together as a family. And that's what I like to do. That makes me happy. Yeah, and to do that.
Which I'm the opposite. I grew up in a family who didn't really celebrate Christmas, didn't have any traditions whatsoever, didn't decorate really for Christmas, and really didn't even have our presents wrapped. It was like, what do you want? And we'll get it. And that was the present. So, but which is completely different. There's nothing right or wrong with it. It's just that wasn't the way you grew up, and that's the way. It's a lot different. So when I moved into your family, 20 years ago. When we had your first Christmas, I was like, man, like this is crazy. Like
we have to dress up and have our hair done for sitting down for Christmas
exactly.
meal. Yes, we do.
Yeah, and it just nice. But I can see that now. Like looking back now, it's like, but this is what makes you happy. And this is the whole context. Like all these stories we're telling you, it has meanings. Is that it's about those little things. The little things matter, right? It doesn't have to be traveling around the world or whatever. But it's those little things that matter.
It's finding the moments.
Yes. That you can control.
Right?
That you can control. That, makes you happy, not necessarily always making everybody else happy. And then Mom is very tough. And I know you sacrifice a lot of happiness, really, in a way, to make sure that all of us are happy, like me and the kids, right? And oftentimes that's the case, especially with mothers who, with their job as being a mom, or wear the hat as being a mom, and those dads who are, they're the full-time dads, they sacrifice themselves really for the family first. And they don't take that time. And sometimes, like you said, it's only 5 minutes, or it might be 10 minutes.
Challenge yourself to find that time, and you'll be so much better off for it.
Yeah, and everybody else will be better for it as well. And because that's the thing that makes you happy. I know, like, honestly, I know we kind of make fun of Karen, like, here with her decorating and spending money. But at the end of the day...
Who makes fun of me?
Yeah, but...
Where are they?
Internally, right here. But I know, but that's what that's what, keeps
I bring
her
so
happy
much joy to your life. And now I'm going to bring some more joy to your life.
More props.
I love my props. We'll put these on. So for our listeners, you really do need to check it out. Check out these glasses.
But this does not make me happy.
No, but it makes me happy, so put them on.
Oh, geez.
So these are the fun glasses, and I want to tell you about my fun glasses that make us look so cool.
Good.
I know, we look pretty good, actually. So the kids and I, we were down in the city. We'll take them off in a few minutes, but I want our listeners to enjoy this moment. Yeah, take it in. So we were down in the city. You were doing a seminar, and I was with the kids. So funny, and so what I like when we go down to do seminars with you is that I'm outside of my normal rhythm, and so I'm a little bit more carefree and a little bit more looser on the rules of what we were going to do. So the kids and I decided we would go down to Chinatown. and we would wander around and see what we could explore. And Kaya found these gorgeous glasses. Now, for those of you who aren't watching the video, they're very bright rimmed, kind of Taylor Swifty, Tay glasses without any lenses in them. And she picked out one for each of us. So I had one, she had one. I don't know if we got you one. And we had to walk around Chinatown in these glasses. And it was really uncomfortable for me because I was like, yeah, it's fun. You guys put them on. And she's like, but Mommy, why won't you wear yours?
Yeah.
And so Mommy had to wear it, and I thought, this isn't so much fun for me. People are looking at me like we're crazy, but I embraced that craziness. We had tons of fun photos taken with it, which created memory for them. And then we went down into Patty's Market, which is a place you can't stand, those little type of flea markets. And like for $5, you can buy the world. You can own it all. It'll only last half a second, but you can own it all. But we just had fun doing those things, living in the moment. And I can see you're really not enjoying these glasses.
Well, no, it's fine. Listen, I think
off?
That's interesting. I'm going to keep it on just to kind of feel this uncomfortable. Comfortableness. That's
I kind of like them on you.
But it actually looks pretty good. But the thing is that and just to make sure that everybody knows, like, because people may not know you, that doing things like that, what you just said, is actually uncomfortable for you.
It's not like comfort zone.
Like most people might see, like, oh, you're you're free, you're carefree and stuff, but that's not true. Like, you're actually quite reserved and you're straight laced.
I'm not naturally an extrovert.
No, exactly. And so for you to go and do that is not natural to you. So just to be very clear. So that would have been uncomfortable. I would definitely have been uncomfortable for me. I'm comfortable now. There's no one around me except for you. But knowing that you guys are watching this later, but it is weird though. Is that we expect the kids to be okay with that, but we're not. And this is where, the happiness though, over time, once you get past that, is that you start to discover the kid in you. Isn't that what happiness is about? Isn't it? Like it's finding, where did we lose our childhood? Like, where did we lose that fun?
Man, I don't know.
Stuff?
Somebody hammered it out of us, I think.
Well, and I know, exactly. And I think that I remember we talking about. You laughed at me being serious last episode, and I remember a few episodes ago we talked about giving thanks to my teacher, and she remembered me when I was 14, and she said I was always serious. I'm thinking now I reflect back and go, well, maybe I've always been serious that way, and where did that fun child go? Did I have start to question, right? Did I actually have fun?
How do you bring it back out? Because man, kids have so much fun playing, and they have so much energy, and I think we kind of lose a little bit of that drive, because life gets busy, and we are responsible adults doing what we need to be doing. Yeah. So,
but I where I get the enjoyment from is playing games. Not just playing games with the kids, but just even playing games as an adult. Like we go out. When I was in Ireland, a few months ago, where we actually played Gaelic football, and we played curling, which is their national sport. It's something different I've never played before.
Curling, like curling on ice.
No, hurling. Sorry,
hurling.
Hurling. And and it's different. And for us, all adults, to play a game of Gaelic football and actually playing in the rain, like it was pouring, pissing rain, like this is Ireland.
Yeah, I would have loved that.
Yeah, but it was so much fun, so much fun, and the competitiveness of each, of adults come out. And
I guess because you're in the moment.
In the moment, exactly.
And that's why you
it's
like
removing distractions away from yourself. That the busyness that we're actually being in the moment, just to have fun. Exactly.
To do that.
So I think that's really, really important to actually, to in order to be happy. It's not about trying to be like 100% happy. There's a great book called 10% Happiness with Dan Harris. Yeah. And he's got a podcast there, and he talks about just being just like a little bit of, just having some little bit of happiness. That's all you really need. But that little happiness allows you to start to see the possibilities and potential. And it's about focusing on the things that, it's being mindful and focusing on the things that you can control. We've been talking about that a lot on the previous podcast as well. Stop trying to control things that it's out of your control. We talked about your father and how there's certain things we just cannot control. But what we can do is control the thoughts and behaviors that affects us on a daily basis, because that's what we control. Even though it's easier said than done, but it is still within our control.
I want to talk about too, because sometimes it's not just about doing stuff for ourselves that makes us happy, but a lot of the time we forget doing things for others.
Absolutely. That's what makes most of us happy, actually.
Yeah, it is. And it's just seeing the smile on somebody else's face that you've made a difference in their day can go a long way, to making you feel better.
Absolutely. And that's why we love the comments, like from when we get from you guys, or the feedback for anything that we do. That makes us happy, because it makes us like, wow, we did something. We were able to affect someone's life. I mean, we just got an email the other day, from a Wellness Guys fan, who got hit by a car, in a car accident.
And with his daughter in the car as well.
Yeah. And back in it's going back 6 years ago, and they just became a listener of the Wellness Guys, and he just sort of said, like, by listening to us, and he listened to us throughout the whole entire half marathon that they did. And he was just like inspiring for him, like that. Just one person, like honestly, I don't care how many listeners we have, but like it changes my life. I was so happy and excited when I made you read it, because that is why I do this. This is why we started the beginning, why we do podcasts, is because that person's life makes it worthwhile of the years that we put into podcasting and recording times, because we were able to just shift someone's life a little bit.
But it's connecting with someone, because we live very disconnected lives.
Yes.
We're not doing as much face-to-face, and when we do speak with people, it tends to be quite superficial.
Yeah.
On a completely superficial level that we're doing it, and to get into depth with somebody and to touch somebody's heart. And it is nice, as you're saying, when we get that feedback, because we realize we have made a difference to someone, or someone's liked something that we said, and there's that reciprocity, I guess.
Reciprocity, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't say that word.
I can't believe
you just said that word.
You know what?
But that makes me happy to throw out that word to you. To make you feel good today.
Oh, thanks.
Because I know the boys I did it on purpose, because those boys hammer you all the time about your English. So
much English, yes.
Much English, they call it.
Yeah, and that's so. What are some of the key components of happiness? Well, I think one is being aware of controlling the things that we can control, and not being affected by trying. And I guess it is trying. It's about trying to filter as many things that are outside your control.
Doesn't have to cost money.
No, it doesn't have to cost money.
Some people think it has to be going on a vacation, doing things, but it's, going for the walk, listening to something, dancing. I know quite a few moms that put on music in the house after dinner, and the family has like a crazy dance.
And something for you, like in a relationship, being happy, it makes you happy. It's just spending time with you, like just me being able to spend time with you, right?
I was waiting for the wind up then. They're going to say, cooking me dinner, cleaning the house, makes you so happy, baby.
But like for you, is it not like it's that you just want to spend time? Like some people just want to.
Well, that's getting into love languages, which I think would be another fun episode to do as well. But for me, my love language is definitely that quality time. I know for you, it's touch. So you're like a cat. I have to keep stroking you. You feel better. There you go, getting stroked. Better from that.
And so it's about finding those little moments of happiness. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money at all, and it's just being conscious and being aware. And it just might be just something you say to someone. But having said that, it's the third thing we talked about today, is that it's about helping others. It's about making you happy. Is actually oftentimes not about just giving yourself, which is important, but it's also giving yourself to someone else, like to do something special for someone else. And it could be as I remember going to a restaurant. And I think it was I have several places that have done this. So I remember it clearly. It was one time in a restaurant in New York, and I just said, I paid for my bill, and I said, I'll pay for the bill for that couple too as well. I don't know who they were. They're just random people.
This.
Yeah, it was just random,
cool.
random couple.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll pay for their bill too. And he brought me 2 bills, and I signed it, and I walked away.
You didn't even get to see that.
No, I didn't even get to see the happiness.
That's hard.
But which is really, really hard, and that's the challenge, right? It's just not really hard. But then I had to question, like reflect back on it. Goes, well, what am I looking for? Am I just looking? Do I do it just because I'm looking for that happiness, or am I doing it just because I give it? And it's a struggle. Trust me. And I look back and I'm like, I wish I could have seen them happiness. But I just know and imagine like someone else paying for the bill, not even knowing who the mysterious person is, and it's just.
It's a mysterious person. I remember once we were getting ready for your brother's wedding, and the bridesmaids were all in the car, and we were going through the drive-through at Tim Hortons, which is like a donut store in Canada. And
this is well before wellness.
This is well before wellness. No, I wanted a tea. Somebody wanted we just wanted drinks, but the one girl driving, I guess she was conscious of her weight. She wanted a Timbit, just one Timbit. So that's the donut hole in the middle, just one.
Yeah.
So we pull up, we order our drinks, and then she says, and one Timbit. Now, you buy these things in a box of 20. And so the guy behind us heard that. And so by the time we got up to the drive-thru for our drinks, they gave us a whole bag of Timbits. And the girl's saying, no, I just ordered one. And he said, yes, but the car behind you said, you need more than one, girls. Please have it. My compliments. And she's like, but I could afford to buy more than one. And he's like, no, he wanted to do something nice. But you know what? That just, our day then, we were giggling. We were like, who is this mystery person? How kind was that? And they were delicious, by the way.
Yeah.
Might not like them now, but...
this is going back 15, 16 years ago, right?
It just changed our day to somebody thinking of us.
Yeah. Well, it's and it does. It's the power of giving and the power of loving someone else, and it's sometimes it's just giving back, not giving back. Sorry, I think giving back is a bad term because it's almost like you're taking something away first. But it's just giving for the sake of giving.
Yeah.
Whether you're helping a child or helping someone else, and just maybe helping someone open the door like that. That just even like the smallest things can make someone else happy, but also makes you happy, and it's just like a win-win situation.
Just even making eye contact with somebody and smiling, because how often now do we just not even look at people? We're heads down.
Yeah.
Doing that. I know for me, volunteering at the library at school, like I love that. I love interacting with the kids and meeting them and knowing what's going on in my kids' lives and just being there so they know that I think school's important, because it is important.
Well, the challenge for you, we'll leave this podcast here, is the challenge is to how can you find a glimpse of happiness, in your daily life. I think if it is a muscle, like I said at the beginning, it's a muscle that you need to train and you have to work at
it. You can't go to the gym once and expect to be fit for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Unfortunately, you got to keep going back. Right?
Yeah, it does take work.
So it's about like going to do the things you actually love to do for yourself, and also then start doing things for others. But doing it every single day will help you manage and just open up the door of possibility. And I think that that little bit of happiness will really start to shine a light into your life, and that allows us to kind of make it brighter over time. And when you start to move towards things you constantly do that only makes you happy, it's such a big life to live. Like, I mean, when you think about how much we actually have to work in our life,
do you feel like it frees you up? It takes a weight off your shoulders.
It's
that
huge.
You're enjoying things.
Exactly.
Now.
Rather than being bogged down by all the things that you need to do. And unless, trust me, like I'm not perfect. Like, there's so many things that I'm bogged down in my mind and what I need to do. But when I'm here in the moment recording this podcast, I'm not thinking about any of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think you like it, because I'm just noticing you look taller than me on the
Actually,
screen.
we are actually about the same height.
We're close to the same height, but I don't know what's happening here. But I'm realizing you kind of enjoy this, because you usually look so much taller than me.
I do. I'm wearing heels. Anyways, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this podcast about happiness. Love to hear some of your feedbacks about happiness and where you would love to. Actually, let's wear these glasses.
We're going to put our glasses on to end this episode, I think.
And where you would find ways, what makes you happy? Like, tell us, some of the ways that you make us happy in comments on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Inside Champions. I'd love for you to like it first and comment there, because we'll love to know and get some feedback. So I'd love to know what makes you happy, because we might get some ideas, or other people might get some ideas from that too as well. So comment below this particular episode, but more importantly, make sure you go to iTunes, subscribe to us on iTunes, because obviously we'll love to get this Inside Champions Mind to as many people as possible. So share it with your friends and other colleagues and other people who you think that these podcasts will resonate with. And right now I'm not sure if the spots are full up by the time you actually hear this, but
it would make us very happy if they were.
Yeah, the podium retreat in the middle of November is going to be a fantastic event in Bali. I'm looking really forward to sharing the stage with you, also being able to have you guys guide people through finding inspirations and finding the motivations, and also developing the momentum that needs to carry on with their life, love, and legacy. So that's gonna be a great event. The Wellness Summit was fantastic. I'm just looking forward to just sharing more on the stage with you. But make sure you go check out Inside Champions Mind podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes, and make sure you go to Facebook and listen to all the other wellness podcasts on the Wellness Couch.
But us first.
Yeah.
Us first.
This is Inside Champions Mind show, dedicating to helping you overcome mediocrity in the pursuit of being world class in anything you do, especially in life, love, and legacy. I'm Laurence.
And I'm Karen.
We'll see you in the next episode.